Welcome back to Mind Paradox. In a world that often speaks of morality and ethics in leadership, there exists a counter-narrative, a stark and sometimes uncomfortable perspective on the acquisition and maintenance of power. Today, we delve into the enduring and often controversial wisdom of Niccolò Machiavelli and explore how his insights from The Prince, penned centuries ago, resonate in the complex landscape of modern power dynamics. Niccolò Machiavelli, a Florentine diplomat and political theorist of the Renaissance, offered a pragmatic and often ruthless perspective on statecraft. His work, The Prince, wasn't a treatise on how leaders should behave according to ideal morality, but rather a practical guide on how rulers actually gain and retain power, regardless of ethical considerations. This unflinching realism is what makes Machiavelli both eternally relevant and consistently debated. One of Machiavelli's most enduring and provocative ideas is the notion that it is better for a ruler to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both. He argued that while it is ideal to be both loved and feared, fear provides a more reliable foundation for obedience and stability. Love, he contended, is a fickle sentiment, easily broken by self-interest, whereas fear, backed by the potential for punishment, is a more constant and dependable motivator. In the modern world, we see echoes of this principle in various contexts. Consider authoritarian regimes where power is maintained through suppression and the installation of fear. While overt displays of brutality might be less common in democratic societies, the strategic use of power to create a sense of consequence for disobedience, whether in political maneuvering or corporate leadership, is a tactic that still finds its application. Machiavelli also emphasized the importance of a ruler cultivating a certain reputation. He advised that a prince need not possess all the virtuous qualities traditionally associated with good leadership, such as compassion, honesty, and integrity. But it is absolutely crucial that he appears to possess them. Maintaining a favorable public image, even if it requires calculated deception, is essential for garnering support and avoiding widespread discontent. In our age of media saturation and public relations, this Machiavellian principle is perhaps more evident than ever. Political leaders and corporate figures often meticulously craft their public personas, carefully managing their image through strategic communication, photo opportunities, and carefully worded statements. The appearance of virtue, competence, and empathy can be a powerful tool in wielding influence, even if the reality behind the facade is more complex or less virtuous. Furthermore, Machiavelli recognized the significance of adapting to changing circumstances. He famously used the metaphor of the fox and the lion, suggesting that a wise ruler must possess the cunning of the fox to recognize traps and the strength of the lion to ward off wolves. This adaptability and strategic flexibility are crucial in navigating the ever-shifting terrains of modern politics and business. Leaders who remain rigid and adhere inflexibly to outdated principles risk being outmaneuvered by those who are more agile and willing to adjust their tactics to the prevailing environment. The ability to anticipate threats, understand the motivations of others, and adjust one's approach accordingly remains a hallmark of effective power wielders in any era. Machiavelli also offered a controversial perspective on the use of cruelty. He argued that while it is undesirable to be seen as cruel, a ruler should not shy away from employing necessary acts of harshness if they serve the greater good of maintaining order and stability. He believed that occasional decisive cruelty could prevent greater chaos and bloodshed in the long run. This principle, while ethically challenging, can be observed in difficult leadership decisions where unpopular measures are taken for perceived long-term benefit, or in situations where decisive action, even if it involves short-term pain, is deemed necessary to prevent a larger crisis. However, Machiavelli also cautioned against excessive and gratuitous cruelty, as this breeds hatred and can lead to the ruler's downfall. The key, according to Machiavelli, is to use cruelty sparingly and strategically, always with the aim of preserving power and the stability of the state. It is crucial to understand Machiavelli's context. He was writing during a time of political instability and upheaval in Renaissance Italy, and his primary concern was the survival and strength of the state. His advice, though often immoral, was rooted in a desire for order and security. Applying his principles directly to the modern world requires careful consideration and a nuanced understanding of contemporary ethical frameworks and societal values. However, the underlying insights into the nature of power, the motivations of individuals, and the dynamics of political maneuvering remain undeniably potent. In the modern world, Machiavellian principles can be seen operating in various spheres. In the realm of politics, the strategic use of rhetoric, the cultivation of a strong public image, and the willingness to make pragmatic, even unpopular decisions for political gain are all reminiscent of Machiavelli's teachings. In the corporate world, leaders often employ calculated strategies to gain a competitive edge, sometimes engaging in ruthless tactics masked by corporate jargon. Even in international relations, the pursuit of national interest, often prioritizing power and security over idealistic notions of global harmony, echoes Machiavelli's emphasis on the primacy of the state. However, it is also important to acknowledge the significant differences between Machiavelli's time and our own. The rise of democratic institutions, the emphasis on human rights, and the interconnectedness of the global community impose constraints on the exercise of power that Machiavelli did not fully contend with. Overt displays of tyranny are generally condemned, and leaders are held to a higher standard of accountability, at least in theory. Yet, the underlying dynamics of power, the struggle for influence, the management of public perception, and the strategic pursuit of self-interest continue to resonate with Machiavelli's observations. Ultimately, Machiavelli's The Prince serves as a powerful, if unsettling, lens through which to analyze the art of power in the modern world. It compels us to look beyond idealistic notions and confront the often uncomfortable realities of how power is acquired, maintained, and exercised. While not a guide for ethical leadership, it offers invaluable insights into the strategies and tactics employed by those who seek to wield influence, reminding us that understanding these dynamics is crucial for navigating the complex and often Machiavellian landscape of our contemporary world. Thank you for joining us on Mind Paradox today as we explored the enduring relevance of Machiavelli's The Prince. What are your thoughts on Machiavelli's principles in the modern context? Do you see his insights reflected in the leaders and institutions around you? Share your perspectives in the comments below. And if you found this exploration of power and paradox thought-provoking, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Mind Paradox, and hit the notification bell for more perspectives that challenge your understanding of the world. We'll see you in the next paradox.